What is up, NASCAR fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing channel. And if we got a special treat for you today, the Indianapolis 400 for the stock. And the action starting right away on the first segment, Skeeter Davis and Far Out Jay starting right next to each other. And it's a grueling track. It's going to be a difficult race today. Tons of DNFs in qualifying. And not because everybody was crashing either. Don't let the 4 laps fool you. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And we're going to kick things off with a special appearance from our Grand Marshal. The number 4 Pontiac Firebird of Carl Recco completely smashed the Nissan Sentra Gassers record, 4th place at Timber Creek Speedway. By far the best an HSL car has ever done in a Redline Derby sanctioned event. No more goose eggs on the Redline Derby profile. He finishes a lap and we're going to kick it off with Skeeter Davis and Far Out Jay. They're going to lead the field. Down behind them is Margot and Russ, followed by Tristan Racewelski, Jimbo Rockford, and a pair of Indiana legends, Tony Stewart and AJ Foy. And the gates are down. Far Out Jay on the outside leads the field into turn number 1 by a car lane. Skeeter Davis is glued to his back bumper. They're flying away from the rest of the pack. And cautions out for a first lap El Recco. Looks like it's Tristan Racewelski. And this is the last thing he needed, barely holding on to a top 10 points position. Inexplicably drives off the track in between turns 1 and 2. And the HSL junkyard is back. Tristan Racewelski is going to be its first victim today. And we got the Diecast Racing news there for an interview, and Tristan cannot be happy about this. Well, now the gates are down for lap number 2, and the outside lane gets another jump. This time it's Skeeter Davis. But he's got just half a car length lead heading into the turns. Sideswipe by Far Out Jay as he runs away with this one. Take a look at Jimbo Rockford in third, poised to take second place. Now we're halfway through this segment, and it's been all Far Out Jay. But Skeeter Davis and Jimbo Rockford haven't been making it easy. Now the gates are down. The front 4 are glued together. Margot joins the party. We got 2 car lanes between first and fourth place. They spread out a bit heading into turn number 1. And it's going to be Far Out Jay once again as they spread into a single file line. And Margot gets loose, drives off the inside of the track. Her car's still flipping. Gets tossed around by Tony Stewart. She lands on her roof, cautions out. A tough break for Margot. There's no sign of Russ or AJ Foy anywhere. Let's pivot the HSL blimp to see where they ended up. And it looks like they're stuck in the start gate. And if it happens twice or on the last lap, that's a mechanical DNF. Well, next time is the last lap anyway, as Margot's car gets taken out to the junkyard. And she can't be happy with that result. Lost a ton of points there. And now it's time for the final lap of this segment. And look at that push that Far Out Jay gets from Jimbo Rockford, just glued to his back bumper. Skeeter Davis left out to dry. Far Out Jay runs away with it by a track segment. Jimbo Rockford for second. Side draft Skeeter Davis in the final turn. And Russ spins out Tony Stewart for 4th. And now it's time for segment number 2. Leading them down is going to be Coffee Tart. And she's got drafting help from her teammate Crazy Ruby and the heavy 60 Grand Mustang of Rowan. But Rusty Wallace and Baby Richie are no slouches, and they're making it difficult for Rowan to take third place away. As the Cut Rock Creek teammates leave everybody behind in the dust, Rowan gets by Rusty Wallace at the last second for third place, and cautions out in the back of the field for Bubba Wallace. He is on his roof, loses all his speed in the second turn. The only flea market car with a top 5 this season is not going to repeat that success today. He's emerged as one of the big contenders for the Field Filler Championship, and that's a huge blow to that. Now we're going to move on to lap number 2. Coffee Tart and Crazy Ruby looked unstoppable on that first lap. The Cut Rock Creek teammates side by side in the turns, beating and banging, but still gaining ground on the field. And this time it's Crazy Ruby side drafts her teammate on the outside to take the lead heading into lap number 3. And cautions out once again. Rusty Wallace is on his roof. It's not a good day if your name is Wallace. And there you can see him on his roof. Horrible points day for him. Entered this race 10th in points, and he'll need a miracle if he wants to stay in the top 10 after that. And now he gets settled into the HSL junkyard to watch the rest of the race with his teammate. And we're halfway through. The gates are down, and this segment's been all Cut Rock Creek racing so far. Once again, Coffee Tart and Crazy Ruby side by side, and cautions out for another El Recco. Coffee Tart takes the second turn too fast and too high. Ends up on her roof. Rowan goes off the track. Let's see what happened to the rest of the field. And there's the 68 of Lord Raymond getting some track time before the big mods race. Just a horrible break for Coffee Tart, who's had all the momentum going into this race. Just got second place in the Coca-Cola 600. She had just been skyrocketing up the points, and the gates are down for the final lap. And look at Crazy Ruby just fly away from everybody else. 2 car lengths ahead of Rowan, a track segment ahead of Baby Richie, and she continues to gain speed across the finish line. And it's Crazy Ruby to the main event. And Rowan really needed that, broke a streak of bad luck there. And now we're heading into segment number 3. On the front row, we have the 91 of Gator McCluskey for Po' Boy Racing. Next to him, Dave Marcus in Coffee Tart's old car. 2 of Puff's cars, Gail and Richie, and Count, the field filler of E. Marshall, and Clyde with one of the heaviest cars, poised to push that inside row. And heading into turn number 1, that's exactly what they do. That inside row is now running 1, 2, 3, and 4. But Gator McCluskey gets thrown off the track at the last second by Gale. He luckily stays on his wheels, but he'll have one heck of a fight to try and get back into contention for this. 3 laps to go, and Gale takes the lead out of the gate. Clyde glued to her back bumper. Reverse side drafts end count into the retaining fence. They file into line. At the front, Richie took over second place from Clyde there, but who got fourth? Looks like end count and Gator McCluskey finished that lap side by side, and going to the replay, looks like end count got it by a bumper lane. And now we're past the halfway point, and Richie from Puffs Racing and Gale from his satellite organization lead the pack down the field. Richie takes the lead heading into turn number 1. Gale tries to make a move on the outside. Richie gets loose and gets tossed off the track. Cautions out. Major El Reco. We got a double DNF. End count and Dave Marcus. And Richie stays on his wheels, but he'll need a miracle to get from 4th to 1st in 1 lap. It's going to be Gale and Clyde leading Gator McCluskey and Richie down for the final lap. And the gates are down. Gale and Clyde are side by side heading towards the bottom of the split track. Clyde entering the fat track with only half a car length lead. Executes a perfect reverse side draft. Gets her loose. Runs away with it. Takes the win. Gator McCluskey gets past her for second place. And Richie tries a desperate Hail Mary, but that's not going to count, being off of the track. Clyde to the main event. Gator McCluskey to the seconds race. And now it's time for segment number 4. On the front row, we got Pantone and Lord Shank. Behind them, Alicia Lunatic and Isaac. And finally, the field fillers of Todd Bodine, Stinger, and Jamie McMurray. Todd Bodine had a race win last year, but he's got a tough task ahead of him going up against Lord Shank and Alicia Lunatic, running away from the field. But Alicia gets loose. Pantone snipes second place back again. And Todd Bodine takes 3rd place. He's got a fast but unstable car. He's going to catapult Lord Shank to the lead once more. Todd Bodine glued to his back bumper. And they're flying away from the rest of the field. Lord Shank pulls away from Todd Bodine heading out of turn 2. And cautions out for an El Reco. Looks like Jamie McMurray lands up on his roof. And it's a double DNF. Pantone exited the turn too high with too much speed. Both of them getting taken back to the HSL junkyard. A disappointing points day for Pantone, just 40 points outside of the top 15. But a big break for Alicia Lunatic, trying to rebound from getting tossed off the track out of second place. And the crowd bunches up between turns 1 and 2. Does Isaac have anything for Lord Shank? He takes the hammer to Lord Shank's back bumper, but he survives that crash attempt. Isaac moving up to second place. Alicia moving up to 3rd. 1 lap to go for Lord Shank. Can he get into his first career main event? And the gates are down. Todd Bodine glued to his back bumper. Drafting away from the rest of the field, Todd Bodine tries to make a move in turn number 1. Collides with Alicia. They both go spinning as Lord Shank crosses the finish line in 1st place. And he's headed to his first career NASCAR Nitro Series stock main event. Isaac takes 2nd place. And that's another DNF for Todd Bodine on the last lap. And this kind of bad luck happened to him several times last season, crashing from 1st or 2nd on the final lap of the segments. But now it's time for segment number 5. On the front row, we have the teammates from the Gimpy Gang. Charlie in the number 19 Camaro, and in the 23 Buick Regal Stalker, we have Emerson. Behind them is Morgan Shepherd for Mark Russell Racing and the number 90 of MSRP Motorsports. William, our points leader, mired in 5th place after crashing during qualifying and having to race his way in the final chance race. And the field fillers of Kyle Petty and Martin Truex Jr. Now the gates are down, and look at Charlie go flying. Looks like she's got shot out of a cannon. Has a 2-car length lead before they even get into the turns. The field spreads out single file. Morgan Shepherd takes 2nd place. William moves up from 5th to 3rd, and Emerson falls all the way back to 4th. No DNF so far. Clean racing on the first lap for this segment. And the gates are on. Look at William. Just flies past Morgan Shepherd, and he's seriously contending for the lead right now. Glued to Charlie's back bumper as they exit the split track, but she gets some separation heading out of turn number 2. Runs away from the field once again by half a track segment by the time they hit the finish line. No other positions change except for a couple field fillers in the back. halfway through the segment, and we still have clean racing, all 7 cars on their wheels as they head down the track to lap number 3. And what a battle for second place we got going on right now. But William and Morgan Shepherd aren't making it easy for each other. William gets the upper hand on the outside this time around. Emerson getting boxed out and double blocked for the second lap in a row. Martin Truex Jr. falls to last place as they head down for the final lap, and I don't think anybody has anything for Charlie. She's out to a 3-car length lead heading into turn number 1. She shows no sign of slowing down at all. William, the closest anyone's got in this segment, but it's not enough. Charlie moves on to the main event, William to the seconds race, and Morgan Shepherd to the third. And as we take a look here, Martin Truex Jr. and MSRP Motorsports are on their wheels. No DNFs in that segment. Congratulations, a great job for all 7 of you. And now it's time for segment number 6, our final segment of the day. And leading to the green will be Nessa Force in the number 12. Next to her, Johnson Jr., the all-time wins leader, Texas Terry Labonte, Christian Fittipaldi, Matt Kenseth, and Jimmy Johnson from last season. And finally, Lake Speed. Gates are down. Nessa Force running away with the first lap here. Looks to be completely in another league on that lap. The rest of the field bunches up behind her. Johnson Jr. somehow springs himself out of that mess like a greased pig and cautions out for another El Reco. This time it looks like Matt Kenseth on his roof, just like E. Marshall in that mechanically identical 97 Matchbox T-Bird, getting towed out to the HSL junkyard. And he'll have to watch lap number 2 from there. Gates are down and Nessa Force and Johnson Jr. are side by side. Nessa Force with a slight lead heading into the fat track, about half a car length, despite Johnson Jr. having a drafting partner in Christian Fittipaldi. And it looks like Nessa Force turned sideways for a second there, but didn't seem to lose much speed. And now her and Johnson Jr. have some distance away from the rest of the field. Nessa Force takes lap number 2, Johnson Jr. in second. They seem to have this segment on lock. It's a battle for third place between the rest of these guys, and now the gates are down for lap number 3. In this one, Jimmy and Christian are making it a lot closer than they were on the last lap. Johnson Jr. and Nessa Force side by side heading into the fat track. Nessa Force gets the upper hand on the inside, and it seems that Johnson Jr. is trying to make something happen here. He goes flying off the track and can't recover. Cautions out, El Reco. Looks like Terry Labonte shoves Jimmy Johnson into the mess. He's on his roof too. It's a double DNF. With 1 lap to go. And between the nightmare final 2 laps of Johnson Jr. segment in the last race and this crash, now his championship hopes are fading fast. And there they are, Johnson Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. Certainly not a good day to be named Wallace or Johnson, as those 2 cars get taken to the HSL junkyard to watch the placement racings in the main event that they won't be a part of. But now it's time for the final lap of segment racing today. And Nessa Force already with a 3-car length lead before they even leave the ramp. If any of these other guys want to win it and get into the main event, they're going to need a miracle. Nessa glides through turn number 1 like a hot knife through butter, barely loses any speed. Same thing for turn number 2. Christian Fittipaldi firmly in second place. He'll be the highest finishing field filler today, the only one in the seconds race. Terry Labonte third. But it's Nessa Force, another driver going to their first career main event. Lake Speed to the 4th race. If he's still on his wheels, it looks like he is. And here's your 5th, 6th, and 7th race. 3 of these cars were all from the same segment, as I believe segment number 5 had no DNF. And the gates are down. Tony Stewart and Kyle Petty side by side. They're not giving each other an inch. Kyle Petty just body slams Tony Stewart off the track. AJ Foyt loses his momentum in turn 2 and slides off the track as well. Kyle Petty in the driver's seat for the second lap of this 5th race, and he just got shot out of a cannon there, a half a track segment lead heading into turn 2. Rest of the field starting to rubber band, and Kyle Petty bins it without contact. He had his ticket to the 4th race punched and inexplicably takes the turn too high. Ends up on his roof. MSRP Motorsports 2 chokes it away. AJ Foyt moves on to the 4th race, which will be led down by Emerson and Russ, Lunatic Alicia and Richie. And getting left in the dust is Lake Speed. Look at the shot that Russ and Richie get out of the gate, but Emerson's catching him on the inside. Russ goes off the track, tries to re-enter, doesn't work. Miraculously stays on his wheels. Emerson gets through all that, takes the lead for lap number 1. AJ Foyt moves all the way up to 2nd place. And the gates are down for the 2nd and final lap of the 4th race. And I don't think there's much that Richie or Russ can do stuck behind those flea market cars. Emerson flies away and takes it by a track segment. Field bunches up behind him, and Lake Speed makes it out this time for 2nd place. The other 3 cars are all off the track, but still on their wheels, as Emerson makes his way to the 3rd race. And on the front row for our 3rd race, we've got Skeeter Davis and Gale. Behind them, the Mark Russell teammates of Morgan Shepherd and Texas Terry, Baby Richie, Stinger, and of course Emerson. And the gates are down. The whole inside lane takes control of this lap. Lined up 1, 2, and 3, led by Skeeter Davis. Morgan Shepherd on his back bumper, and they're going to lead him down for lap number 2. And holy cow, look at that jump that Skeeter Davis got. He's not happy to be racing in the thirds race, and he's letting everybody know that, flying away from the rest of the competition. He wins this third race by a track segment. Baby Richie ends up taking second, but only one can get into the seconds race, where he joins Gator McCluskey on the front row next to Isaac. Behind them, Christian Fittipaldi, rowing for Uncle Elvis Racing. His teammate William, the NASCAR Nitro Series points leader, and Jimbo Rockford. The gates are down. Gator McCluskey jumps out to a 2-car length lead heading into turn 1 as he keeps it steady through the second half of the lap. He is 1 lap away to his first career main event, his first career guaranteed top 10. Christian Fittipaldi moves up to second place, and that's at the expense of William, Rowan, and Isaac. But Gator McCluskey's in a great position now. He's got William, the points leader, pushing him. He pulls away from the rest of the field in the turns. Gator McCluskey wins the seconds race. He'll be moving on to his first ever main event. William, Christian Fittipaldi, and Rowan make up the rest of the top 10. And right now, it's the moment you've been waiting for, the main event. On the front row, we got a pair of Australians, Lord Shank and Dessa Force. In fact, a third Australian, Charlie, in third. Next to her biggest rival of the midseason entrance, and Far Out Jay, Crazy Ruby, and Clyde. They've been at each other's throats since the All-Star Open. And Gator McCluskey in 7th. The gates are down. Nessa Force and Lord Shank are side by side. Gator McCluskey goes flying off the track, and so does Nessa Force. She drives vertically up the catch fence. Lord Shank leads the lap. Nessa Force lands on her wheels. Gator McCluskey not so lucky, and his first ever trip to the main event is a short one. And that error on the part of Nessa Force moves Charlie up to second place. Far Out Jay in third. But Charlie's got drafting help from her satellite teammate, Crazy Ruby. Let's see if she has anything for Lord Shank for lap number 2. But Far Out Jay glued to Lord Shank's back bumper. He's got to block and draft at the same time. Make that car 2 lanes wide. He's doing a good job of it. Heading out at turn number 4. Gets a little sideways but doesn't lose control. Some of the best driving we've seen from Lord Shank all season. Charlie barely holds on to second place over Far Out Jay. And let's take a look at these finishes on the replay. Again, so close there. Looks like Crazy Ruby holds on to 5th place by less than a bumper lane. Such close, exciting racing on that lap. Let's see if they can hold it up for lap number 3. The gates are down once more for lap number 3. We're past the halfway point, and Lord Shank has a half a car length lead heading into turn number 1 again. He moves into the upper lane to block Charlie. Now Far Out Jay's trying to make a move. He keeps the car 2 lanes wide as they head to the finish, side by side with Charlie. We're going to replay that again. See Charlie rapidly gaining ground there, but Lord Shank has just enough space to hold her off. Retain the lead heading into the final lap. And now the gates are down for the final lap of the Indianapolis 400. 5 of the 6 drivers in this main event haven't won a Nitro Series race yet. Lord Shank with another aggressive block in between the turns, moving between the 2 lanes to try and maintain the lead. Lord Shank is going to do it. Picks up his first career NASCAR Nitro Series win. Congratulations to Lord Shank, his first career NASCAR Nitro Series race. Awesome channel, awesome driving today. And we can't forget about Charlie here, her first career podium. What an epic performance. One of the most dominant segment performances I've ever seen. And Far Out Jay in third, another podium coming off of a win. There's no hotter driver on the circuit right now. Nobody with as much momentum as Far Out Jay. Back-to-back podiums, a win in the Coca-Cola 600. Congratulations to all 3 of our guys here. Lord Shank, check his channel out. He does a lot of the same kind of racing as I do with NASCAR castings. It's a lot of fun. This race was a lot of fun. Let's get into the results here. Lord Shank, of course, gets the 200 points for that win. Charlie and Far Out Jay. Crazy Ruby gets the upper hand over Clyde this time. Nessa Force and Gator McCluskey also in their first career main events. Our points leader, William, shows you why he's the points leader. Despite that terrible start, ends up salvaging a top 10 finish anyway. Christian Fittipaldi and Rowan round out your top 10. Christian Fittipaldi actually your highest finishing field filler. Isaac, Jimbo Rockford, and Skeeter Davis round out the seconds race. In the championship battle, Skeeter Davis loses 20 points on William. And further back, we have the guys from the thirds race, the fourth race. We had 28 finishers in the segments altogether. Kyle Petty was your lowest finishing finisher. We had a segment with no DNFs. Congratulations on that, guys. Lots of clean racing today. Bubba Wallace there clinched last place. He got a top 5 the last time we saw him at Martinsville. And with that, his chances to win Field Filler of the Year pretty much dried up. I mean, Sterling Marlin got that on lock last week with his performance. In all honesty, one of these Field Fillers will have to win a race to wrestle that from Sterling Marlin, to be honest. And we'll get into more detail about that when we look at the points. William, your points leader, has a 135-point lead over Skeeter Davis now. That's an improvement over the 115 points he had coming into this race. Baby Richie moves up to third with that 14th place finish. Johnson Jr.'s DNF knocks him down a spot. Richie, Encount, Morgan Shepherd, Jimbo Rockford moves back into the top 10. And so does Clyde. Coffee Tart rounds out the top 10 with 804 points, only 97 points away from third. And look at this powder keg. Only 99 points between third place and 11th place Isaac. There's still a lot of competition left. Tristan goes down to 12th with that DNF. Rusty Wallace to 13th. Lord Shank moves out of the 20s into the mid-teens with that W. And Rowan really needed that top 10 finish too. And Far Out Jay moves up to 24th, the highest ranked mid-season entry. Charlie's not too far behind him. Crazy Ruby had a good points day, and so did Nessa Force. They each moved up a couple spots. Vinny Nightlife missed the race and moved down. And here is a list of your mid-season entries and very good field fillers. Sterling Marlin currently is the highest ranked field filler. And with the way he drove at Charlotte, winning both the 4th race and 3rd race and getting a top 10 after finishing 4th in his segment, one of these other field fillers will have to win a race to wrestle the Field Filler of the Year award from him. Christian Fittipaldi with a 9th place finish in his debut. I'll honestly be shocked if he ends the season 53rd in points like he is. Here's a couple more field fillers. Numbers 54 through 65. 66 through 79, Todd Bodine. He could have had a decent starting spot in the seconds race, but instead he's on his roof. Still 79th in the point standings. And here are the rest of your drivers. Haley Deegan still in last place, but that car's actually pretty fast. I won't be surprised if she at least moves up into like the 50s or 60s by the end of this season. And if you're unhappy with the way your car's running, we still have 4 more races left to film. One of the drivers you saw out there today has a new car coming in from Australia by the time we film race number 9. If you have something that you think is faster than your current car, just send it to HSL Diecast, P.O. Box 7, Wind Gap, Pennsylvania. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you out there on the track.